YouTube, what's going on? Daniel here for another video. Want to share something quickly before I head to bed. Had a very long day today. Started yesterday. Actually, went to a spa with some friends. Crazy, beautiful experience. Got to cold plunge, sauna, steam room, Epsom salt bath. It's crazy. Very relaxing, and I got to experience it much more just because the whole time was very much in peace. Didn't need anything. Um, from that, wasn't looking for any kind of didn't have any expectations or desiring something from it, just enjoying it. And those are the moments we have the best time. And that's the way you're supposed to be. That's when you're aligned or in peace, which is alignment. Because when you're in peace, that means you're not seeking anything, you're not desiring, which means you're with God. So I wanted to make a video today because essentially I didn't make one yesterday. I got caught up with things, but something occurred that I think can give some value to you guys in terms of how strong I believe in my conscience now, how much I'm following it now more than ever, and how it's becoming clearer and clearer the things I have to do. So essentially, give you a backstory. I was planning a trip to Dominican and Puerto Rico with a friend, and well, two friends actually. One I was planning it with closely, and the other friend was going to come from the States to come meet us there on the second half of the trip. So we were planning it, and a part of me wanted to go because of obviously in Canada it gets cold wintertime in November, so a good thing. Um, so I was excited in terms of that. But other part of me knew that um, the trip wasn't something that was really aligned with how I was going to grow in the next few months. Um, Not really so much the pretty people I was going with, just the environment, just the plans we had, or you can say things that were going to get me disconnected in terms of what I want to do. So a part of me, had that in the back of my mind, but also a part of me was excited because it's Puerto Rico, it's Dominican, new cities you're seeing, especially Santo Domingo is going to go there. But what ended up happening was we booked the first half. This was 2 days ago. Ended up staying at a friend's house, going to the spa with him and other friends. And then I left after the spa. They went to have a dinner. I fasted. I had just one meal, and this is actually what gave me clarity. So this is something you can take from the video. You want to get ultimate clarity fast before making any kind of big decisions, or the big revelations will come to you, or big epiphanies will come to you when you fast, because you're not digesting. Your body's just basically able to heal and also just give you ultimate clarity. So I fasted. I went to bed at about 11. Woke up, same time, 4:40, never miss. And essentially, when I woke up, same routine. Read the Bible, um, reflected, and then went for a morning walk. But before my morning walk, I had this huge just thought. Well, not thought, but command of don't go. Like, cancel the trip, don't go. And something else, which is God, my conscience, told me instead to go to Brazil and go by myself. So this is the first trip I'd be doing by myself. Um, I've never gone anywhere solo. I've always met people somewhere, gone with family, friends. But my conscience is telling me now that it's time to move on and start begin to do things solo. Solo traveling is something that you could say I've always heard people do, or I've heard people talk about, but never done myself. And they always mention it's a huge way to grow. But for me, it's just a way to really stay on my own routine, my own lifestyle, and not have any interruptions in terms of what I do and how I live. Because I mentioned before, the way I live is a 0.01% or 1%. The things that I've removed, keep removing, and just how I try to align myself and listen to the one that gives all the steps you need to take, because all your maps already figured out, everything's already written, and simply listen to your conscience. So this is a testimony and example of how I do that. So like I mentioned, I bought those tickets. I'm losing money on those tickets. I'm not sure if I'll get money back, but I mentioned before another video, and the conscience told me to leave the current lease I have. I had a payment left on that and left and didn't even stay there for the final 2 months. And for this, I paid a ticket for a plane and booked an Airbnb as well, which is refundable. But even that, I'm not scared to lose money on, because your conscious comes before anything. And this is also a lesson in terms of your conscious at the moment is probably not clear. If you're watching and you have the tendency to just follow your desires, follow your temptations, go out on weekends, chase girls, drink, drugs, overwatch TV, maybe watch the news, you're still stuck in the modern world. The physical flesh desires, things are going to keep calling you. And step one is removing all those things. That's really how we begin to get clarity and can actually get, proper commands to your conscience. Because right now you're just getting commands of do this, go here, desires. I've been there, I know exactly where you are, and you're just living for the flesh. And what needs to begin to happen is you have to remove those things, to remove the noise that you have, because you have a bunch of noise, different speakers going on. We have to listen to one speaker, which is God, and his voice is very quiet right now. It's almost a whisper, so you can't hear it. But as soon as you turn off these speakers, it begins to get louder and louder. And like I said, um, this morning was the first time that I had something, and instantly, just like boom, I got the command and just followed it. I just trusted it and knew it was God, and knew that you know when you listen to your conscience foremost, it's what's going to lead you to feeling good. And feeling good is when you begin to attract the things that are meant for you. And when you don't follow it, it's when you begin to feel bad and start to go into regret. So I knew that if I didn't follow it and stayed, even though it told me not to go, I would have felt bad on the trip. I would have just been low frequency and not, been able to attract, operate in spirit, and be in a place where I can be a magnet and attract the things that God has, destined for me. He knows are my heart, the desires of my heart, and will come when I am ready. So I was able to get that as well from another coach, Yados, who in a post I saw, which is everything's aligned, everything's perfect, so worked out the way it was supposed to. But I saw a post that he made saying, that really the goal of everything is to feel good, and it's not feeling good like with substances or using women or using something external. It's feeling good within with the decisions you make. So these decisions, I realized, are decisions, the ones you have to start out with, of not doing things. So not sleeping in, not going out to party, not going out to drink, not going out to do drugs, not watching TV or the news, not doing things is going to basically start filling your cup within and giving you this power back. Because most decisions are like instinct flesh. Like maybe you're walking around in a mall and you start to like, oh, let's go in this store, and you start to like um, just buy, or get these desires to like buy something. Maybe in a restaurant you want to like get desserts. All these little like instant pleasures you want to get from these small decisions, and these are the things that are the um, death by a thousand cuts. These are decisions that if you make, they put you into lower frequency, because the devil is the one that's going to try to battle you most of the time. Like I said, it's mostly noise and just very little signal. So when you're starting out, it's all noise. All you have is noise. All you have is desires, flesh, and you're just waking up and trying to feel good with some things externally. Maybe it's waking up and getting a coffee and eating coffee first thing in the morning. Then you need food. Then you're like, oh, I need to listen to some music while I go to work, so I don't want to be in rush hour, whatever it is. Then you distract yourself with social media. Maybe we're at work, and you're always putting things externally in front of you and noise, to you know not you're not able to hear anything really, which is your conscience. Your conscience is always buffered, because of the things you're putting in front of it. But as soon as you begin to remove, like I said, that's the first step when you're in level one, which is full noise. You have no signal or no attention to your conscience. That's when you begin to really see what you've been missing and see the steps that you've been doing wrong. Because when you're working and just trying to think your way through and you start feeling regret, it's because your conscience is trying to tell you something, but your ego, your mind, is trying to think your way out of it, or just think for small pleasures. And your conscience doesn't live for small pleasures like your ego does and your mind does. It lives for things that you may have to suffer through. You may not see the reasons why or the answers to it right away. Like for me, instance, I don't see why I'd decline a trip with friends that were expecting to go with me, and I go to Brazil by myself, but I listen and I trust what I don't see, and I know it's for a good reason. And even when I think or I don't think about it, but have a thought about it, it makes me feel good. And when I have a thought about going to that trip now that I canceled, I feel bad. So I mean, like I said, it's all about where you feel good, and it's not something external. It's essentially you moving towards something or a lifestyle, a way to connect with something, God that you don't see. And that's the whole lifestyle that, I try to show is you can go from waking up at whatever time you want, chasing girls for years, getting into the club lifestyle, drugs, stuff like that, to waking up at the same time every day, having more or less the same routine, and just suffering to remove the devils that you suffer with when you don't have that. When you're making these small decisions of instant gratification, like I said, things of this world externally, lust, with women, food, money, cars, all the things that the world tells you is winning or is a sign of winning, um, is the desires that they begin to remove in order to really get to your conscience. But I want to make this video because like it's a trust that you get to build in yourself, which is the greatest pride, and thing I have right now. Um, the trust I have in myself now is growing more and more. The love for myself in terms of the decisions I make and the respect I have for myself are the biggest things. I write this every day when I reflect in the morning. I speak it and write it because it's an affirmation, it's something I want to put out there, and it's really something that is becoming more and more clear that is because I'm listening more to my conscience. I'm listening more and not needing external, opinions or validations or people to tell me what to do or like a second opinion. It's really, I get the information and I go. And, I just see more and more when I do it right away, I see that there can't be any linger. Like I mentioned 2 days before I was booking it, there was some thought about it and the conscience was there, but I didn't pay attention to it as much as I should. And then when I woke up in the morning, it was like, okay, do this or else you'll regret. I instantly did it. So it's something that, there's levels to it. You're not going to get it right away because, like I said, right now you're just battling with noise when you're starting out, and you will not understand. And you think, you know, you may be connected, or it's actually your conscience, which is authentic voice of God, but it's just your ego. It's just desires and telling you to go here and chase this girl or message this girl or have this food or wake up, whenever you want, or yeah, just do these like instant pleasures. When you remove those things and remove that addiction you have to those things, those feelings that they give you, which is the devil playing with you with your ego, is when you can get to the levels where your conscience is, the only thing you trust, the only thing you look for. That is why you align yourself with the lifestyle, removing all the things, suffering physically, mentally, in all areas, and growing in all areas as well as a result. But yeah, it's all removing. That's really the secret. And then from there, you can begin to listen to your conscience more and more, and it guides you because everything is already written. Your map is your conscience. That's where everything lies, and the steps is like the stops you have to make. Think of it like Google Maps. Your conscience is trying to give you the steps, and instead of having Google Maps on in your car, you have, I don't know, some YouTube playing or some music playing, and you can't hear the directions. That's the best way to explain it. Actually, crazy. Yeah, best way to explain it is you're let's say you're let's say you're blind and you're trying to drive, because this is a journey of faith. You have the map there, but you don't have the sound. But instead of the sound on of the map, you have the music. So you're not able to hear the sound, which is your conscience of where you're supposed to go and follow the map. But instead, you're just listening to the music, which is just constant distraction and constant deviation of where it should be. So you're just basically, you know, walking blindly, and you think it's logic is going to get you where you're supposed to go, but it's faith. Faith and not fear is going to get you to the biggest places that God has planned for you when you realize it's a spiritual game and not a mental, physical game. But like I said, there's levels to it. Level one is removing, and then from there you can begin to beat the lust that's killing you. And if you don't know already, you'll be able to see my Instagram, and I help men with that because I've been there, like I mentioned. If you haven't seen any videos in the past, I battled lust like crazy for 3 or 4 years with women. That was one of my biggest fights, and I surpassed that. And the change and difference I had is crazy. Like, from having no light in my eyes to basically walking with the devil in terms of my ego and lust, to now, being able to make these videos, show my lifestyle online, my habits, and just throw wisdom, because it's not me speaking, it's, God, because we're all vessels when you're living the right way and obeying the lifestyle he preaches. But yeah, you simply realize that it's not really about you at all. It's just, are you a vessel for God, or are you a vessel for the devil? And that is determined by your habits and the thinking you allow, which is the devil, sorry, or the spirit you allow to run through you, operating from spirit, which is God and the Holy Spirit running through you. So there are these levels. I want to give you, a taste of what you can get to when you really begin to listen and remove first, and you get, the signal and what we should begin to do. But, step by step, I want to share my story and how I'm just building more and more trust every day in myself. And it's crazy how fast now this in my conscience. And that's basically, decision making. The faster you make decisions, and the better decisions you make, is, how much faster you'll grow. So crazy. I want to share this with you guys. Much love if you stayed till the end. Hope you enjoyed. Like I said, you can follow my Instagram. I put my lifestyle, my morning wisdom with my morning walk, and, just the ways I stay connected and aligned with the purpose that comes to you through your conscience when you have signal and remove the noise. So if you stay till the end, God bless. Like and subscribe. If you enjoy the content, you can comment below as well. Your battle with noise, or if you actually have, been able to get your conscience and have that guide you to different places that you didn't see initially, but you just followed it because, I had faith, and, it guided you to the place you're supposed to go. So hope you enjoyed. As always, God bless. Until next time, as always, keep killing it.